All right, welcome everyone to our CryptoFrogs AMA with XOX Labs. We're joined today by Adam and Ninja to tell us all about the project. These guys are doing a pre-sale on Pinksale at the moment with about a day left pre-sale. They're hitting the target of 350 ETH hard cap. So let's start things off with Adam and Ninja. Can you guys introduce yourselves and the rest of the team behind XOX Labs?
Yeah, sure. I'll go ahead and start here. My name's Adam, otherwise known as VC Adam. I do freelance hosting across Twitter Spaces as well as TG. Been doing this professionally for about the last 3 years, and I'm just finishing my first full year of full-time crypto. So no going back now. Now I'm in it. So I wanted to say too, during this course of time doing this professionally, I've been really lucky to meet amazing teams. From the likes of very big projects to enterprising projects to meme coins and everything in between. And what I actually loved was this was actually brought to me by an incubator. His name's Terry, and he also does a lot of PR work, is known in the Binance world there. And he said, you got to meet the XOX Labs team, have a quick meet with Ninja, see what you think. And I absolutely loved it. And actually the badge you see here, this docs badge, was from our first interaction. So we went ahead and did a recording together. I interviewed him, and he jumped right on video like he is right now. We did a deep dive, and then a few days pass. Terry reaches out. He's like, hey, you want to join along on the AMA tour? And I said, heck yeah, let's do it. So that's a little bit about my journey, how I met the team. I'd love to turn it over now to Ninja, the CEO here at XOX Labs, to be able to introduce himself as well as the rest of the team. Go ahead.
Yeah, bro, it's been a few days and a lot of AMAs. Like, we have been talking a lot these days. But yeah, it's been fun. Like, these AMAs, going around communities, it's talking about the project, getting to know a bunch of new people. So it's absolutely been quite fun. So yeah, I'm Levant. I'm the founder of, you can call me Ninja. Pretty much everyone calls me Ninja at this point. So I'm the founder and CEO of the project. Our team is 20 plus team members. We are a legal company in Vietnam. We are a fully doxed team, certified audited, KYC, Skynet KYC. We are tax required. We are registered in 2 countries. So yeah, when it comes to safety, we are up there with the best. So that's not going to be an issue. I believe that was going to be the introduction. If we can just go ahead and start with the juicy stuff, it's going to be better, so we don't waste time. But yeah, just a team, as mentioned, 20 team members. Pretty much everyone is based in Vietnam, the in-house team. But we do have a lot of team members from different countries. From America, the USA, we have some of them in India. India, there's a lot of smart people there as well. And we do have 2 in Europe, but we are pretty much all of us in Asia. So we can be a little bit more organized. But yeah.
Fantastic. A really great introduction from both of you guys. Appreciate it. Cool. So we'll jump right into the project, I guess.
Yeah.
Give us a little short kind of, maybe not one-liner, but short kind of introduction to actually what XOX Labs is and where the idea and inspiration came from.
Definitely. I'll go ahead and cover, a high level. And what I love here is if you go to the actual white paper, kind of go through some of these aspects, it'll really give you a great idea of what it's all about. But I'll go ahead and say this. I like to think of it from a high level as being the place to do things you would normally do in the crypto space in Web3, but in one spot that's trusted. Now I say trusted, but how do you know it's trusted? Well, of course, there's the badges here, but every project has those badges, or a lot of them do. The difference here is we have a CertTech audit. In addition to that CertTech audit, this is a team that's been developing for many years now. Of course, we have the CEO himself, Ninja, present here, that's been grinding away. And what you're going to be able to do on platform is as simple as this. It's going to be the place to be able to do cross-chain swaps in an aggregated manner, meaning the best fee possible, in some cases even fee-free, which is a huge value add. Of course, it is a DEX inherently, as we're talking about right now, so you'll be able to swap different pairs. And in addition, they're looking to really have this be the place for farming as well. So being able to farm sustainably, even with stables as well, which I made this mention a few AMAs ago. There's no place you're going to be able to get the returns that you can here. I know that because I've seen on Coinbase, there's no way you're going to get those types of returns. Yeah. So I'll go ahead and get Ninja's take on it as well, but yeah. I see this as the all-in-one solution.
Yeah, you said that right as always. XOX Labs, just think about it as the one place that you eventually that's the plan, right? We want DeFi users to come and just do and get all their DeFi needs, like like cover. So when it comes to swapping, bridging, staking, yield farming, liquidity mining, earning stablecoin, earning passive income through stablecoin staking, doing investing in ICOs, because we do have a launchpad, we have an asset tracker, we have a mobile app on the development, we have a DEX aggregator, which is going to be on-chain and cross-chain liquidity aggregation, meta aggregation, because we aggregate from aggregators, not only AMMs or DEXs. So think about this one place where that is a reliable, that is safe, that it has a good user interface, that is top-notch security, that you can just go ahead and do pretty much everything on the space. And that, of course, raises the question of why are you trying to do so much? Is not going to be like too overwhelming that you're going to focus on just one specific liquidity or specific protocol to build. But it is right, if you focus on just one, you can make the best one. But there is not really that one place that you can go and do pretty much everything. There is a lot of good dexes, there is a lot of good bridges like Orbital Finance, there is dexes like Uniswap, of course, Kyber, DeFi AMA, Matcha, and there is a lot of like staking protocols or a bunch of stuff. But when it comes to one protocol that you get used to it every day, that is reliable, that you can use on a daily basis, that you can cover all your DeFi needs, and that is still non-custodial, decentralized, dog-steam, everything, and it's actually revenue. It actually allows you to earn revenue as well. So there is no that place that you can do. There is on CeFi, of course, on centralized finance, but DeFi is still lacking a little bit of that centralization when it comes to having everything in one place for you to meet all your needs. And that's the goal. That's what we're trying to do. It's been building for 2 years, 7 utilities fully ready to go, and we have 4 more launching in 2024, and a few of them launching in 2025. It's going to be a long road. It's been a long road. It's been tiring. 20 plus team members working full time, and also collaborating with Sodatech, which is the biggest company in this country when it comes to development, blockchain development. And it's been a blast, but of course, it's a lot of work on the security and development side to ensure that people actually want to use the platform. It's not that easy. Yeah.
Amazing. You guys are clearly a very well-built team. It is a very good thing that we host a lot of projects that are just ran by like 1 or 2 people. And while for the most part, sometimes it works, when you have a project of this scale, you do need to expand your team. And you do need to, spread the workload out, because otherwise you get burnt out and it's just too much work, But good to know that you guys are a very sizable team. Fantastic. Good, a little introduction there. So, from my notes, here's a question. Does the name XOX Labs have any significance or greater meaning?
Greater meaning. So, I don't know if I get that question, like significance. XOX Lab, and you mean the name? The name?
Why did you choose to name it?
From the development point of view, or for the marketing, or like getting to people, SOS, like there is no that actually meaning. If you think about it, pretty much all the DEX these days have a swap at the end of the name, right? So we didn't want to add like SOS swap or something like that, because it's gonna, like, people are gonna identify us with a swap. We just wanted to build like a laboratory, some like displays that you want to do a bunch of stuff. SOS is a letter that we like. SOS, which is what we're gonna name it. Just that's gonna be it. And the team like it. It's catchy. It's easy, and that's all you need for a name. There is no name that can grow itself and it can become popular. There has to be a pro behind it, and I believe that eventually people are gonna recognize. They're gonna say SOS is the place where I do all my DeFi stuff. Yeah.
Perfect. Yeah, I do agree with you. We do see a lot of this swap and this swap, and
it's the same thing.
It gets repetitive, and it doesn't really show any kind of innovation. You could have an amazing project, but if you're named the same thing as pretty much every other project out there, it's just going to be people are not going to take that on properly. So, what's the difference between your V1 DApp and your V2 that's currently in development? What are you guys making?
Yeah, so that's a very good question. Actually, the V1 is not the DApp. The V1 is going to be for the DEX. We already roll out a V2 for the stablecoin, which actually now is way better. It's way more stronger, it's way more scaled. The V1 DEX is live already, supports 6 chains already. We already integrated Kyber for the liquidity aggregation there, even though they had some issues with some their elastic pools go hacked, but that did not affect the aggregator. So the aggregator is still one of the best on the space, and we are partnered with them. So still like supporting them through the SOS DEX V1. But it's a simple DEX. We actually aggregated liquidity from Kyber, Uniswap, and PancakeSwap because we didn't want to waste resources while we are waiting for the DEX V2. Now, the DEX V2 is under development. That's an aggregator. The DEX V1 is similar to an AMM, but we do not have liquidity from outsources. We only have our own liquidity. So it means that we're still aggregating liquidity, right? So we're aggregator, but in a simple way. So the idea was, let's build it for an entry point for the ecosystem. They can do all their trades. There is no fees. People are going to be able to trade in 1 second. Let's just make it better, a little bit cooler than Uniswap and PancakeSwap, a little bit more information, give you the information on your portfolio alive while you're trading. The assets are going to be changing, so you know exactly how much money you have and the percentage of the assets that is left, and actually show you the root of your trade, and then your tradings, like everyone's know how to swap, So, but the next V2 is going to be where the real things happen. This is a development that is really, really massive because we are trying to integrate 60 plus chains, 500 plus liquidity sources, aggregate liquidity on chain and cross chain. We're trying to integrate bridges as well, which is the most difficult part. We're trying to integrate a referral system and build the aggregator, which is something new for the space. Nobody have done so far. And I don't know why. That's why we're trying to print something from C5 to DeFi. That's the best, one of the best things that we're trying to do here as well. And also the gasless solution, which is going to be used to allow users to trade without paying any gas. No fusion mode, same 1 inch, no same match, which is professional liquidity, actual gasless trading, which is going to be some of the revenue of the company is going to be used to pay for the users trading gas fees on layer 2s and CK rollups, and chains will lower gas fees. In Ethereum, it's going to be impossible. It's never going to happen. But for chains that have low fees, we can really pay for a lot of users gas fees. So they're actually going to be swapping without paying any fees whatsoever. There's only going to be the platform fee, which is 0.1, which is one of the lowest on the space already. Most of them are 0.25 or 0.5 or 0.8. We are a really small one. 20% goes back to the community. Some of it goes to the stakers, and it's pretty much spread out across like multiple sources, like for treasury or that sort of stuff. But the next V2 is a big development. It's going to take a while to be ready. So we have to have the V1, right? So people actually can do their trades. That's going to be the simple explanation for you.
Fantastic. Well, we'll get into your LP farming and stuff that you guys have got planned with that in a bit. But I just want to touch on this. So on your website, it says that you guys already have 4,000 ecosystem users and over $1.3 million in trading volume. Based on your prediction models, what kind of numbers are you guys trying to scale this to in the short and long term? Like, what are your targets to that?
So this is actually a pretty good question, a pretty technical one, because the 4,000 users that you see is not only traders, it's actually spread across the DApp. So when we mean users, we mean stakers, we mean swappers, we mean people that like traders, put it that way, traders. We mean those who interacted with something on the DApp, with some of the protocols on the DApp, right? So, and this is just a beta. We have not publicly launched yet. We're just public for those who come to the ecosystem. I used to, we have not any marketing on the platform yet. So think about once we start doing targeted marketing for users with our 30 plus partners, you can see the partners list. And actually, once we launch, all the trading, pretty much a lot of the trades are going to be happening in our DEX. It's going to be bringing a lot of volume. There's going to be 4 new protocols launching on January 13th, which is going to be the day of TVE, which is going to be bringing a lot of users. So we're expecting this year, it's really, really hard to make a prediction because there is no use, there's no way to know yet until we are not live, fully live. There is no uses case. Something this, I believe my English is not the best, but it could be 50,000 members by this year. We hope so, users. And volume, it could be 20 million, 50 million, 100 million. It depends on how fast we roll out the V2. That's going to be the main protocol users, because that's going to be what's going to bring the most volume. Like for now, the DEX V1 is going to be a simple DEX as mentioned. So once we roll out the DEX V2, once we roll out the Launchpad, which is going to be integrated with the DEX as well, so users are not going to be able to just get into an SEO and actually swap it right away once launching. It's just in one place. You don't have to go from the Launchpad to the DEX. That link where a lot of people actually get scammed on Peach's website, a bunch of stuff. It's going to be only in one place. By swap, stake. Everything is going to be built in one place. Free fair. It's going to be quite interesting. So that's going to bring a lot of users. Launchpad usually have a lot of users. Aggregators have a lot of users. So we can be talking 50,000, 100,000, a million. We don't know, but it's going to be like after 2 years is when the real things like start like taking place. Yeah.
And just to add to this real quick, I think it's so important for people to understand the impact of emerging blockchains, right? We talked about this in a space earlier, right? The early morning space, a lot of fun, morning for me at least. And what was covered was, if you look at the likes of Solana, right? A really good example, very, very, very like close to us recently. You'll see launch pads that aren't even pink sale, right? They're doing Solana pad. People didn't even know what that was because it didn't exist, not a few months ago. So if we think about, an emerging all-in-one solution, well, Ninja said it best. There really isn't that all-in-one solution. But now, even if you get a hit on one of these blockchains, like we know, for example, Polygon is waking up quite a bit, right? With their switch to POL. So with that being the case, if this becomes the place to do cross-chain aggregated swaps on Polygon, boom, you have a huge in, and now you're the place to go, right? Or if this becomes the farming solution on Polygon, that's a win. Or any of these other blockchains that are going to start to, explode in visibility again. And we saw Solana is not a new blockchain; it's a legacy blockchain, relatively, right? So we can see that even these big names, and Matic as well, of course, Polygon, they are primed for a comeback. But the thing is, a lot of the names on them, they're just legacy. There is no new names. So there is definitely space to have a big splash. And that, I think, is going to be a big move for user adoption and growth, in my opinion.
Yeah, and also adding a little bit onto this as well, getting to the new blockchains, that's why you see Solana Pad now is a new one. There's a lot of volume, and you see Soldex or whatever it is, because everyone is trying to get into the new blockchain. That's a pretty good strategy for growth, and it's easier to do it when you have only one protocol. If you have a DEX and you know that you have been following, for example, whatever new chain that is actually launching in the last few days, or Manta, for example, and then you have been like pitching Manta. They're actually supporting the ecosystem, they're supporting your DEX, and they give you a grant, and then they give you a little bit of marketing. If Manta does well at the beginning, all the volume is going to be routed through you. That's why you see DEXs that before they didn't exist, that they are a clone of every other DEX in every other layer too, but they brought it to the new chain, and then they have $1 billion volume in 2 weeks, which is insane. And then they are making this amount of money, insane amount of money in fees, and a bunch of stuff. But that's a pretty good strategy to actually position yourself into not only in the already established blockchains, but actually be flexible and be able to actually act quick and build into new blockchains as well, because that's where the new users is coming. And once they actually know that, okay, once Manta make an announcement that if you actually want to buy, then Manta is launching main next week, you can actually swap any tokens on this DEX or whatever it is. So you can buy these tokens on the launchpad, or you can bridge on this bridge. Those are the ones that are going to be getting the most volume. When Arbitrum started, all those projects already integrated Arbitrum at the beginning. They made the most amount of volume because they were there at the beginning. So you got to be fast, flexible, and you got to have a good team that can get things built fast. I would say just add that to that topic. Yeah.
I agree, definitely. You guys are clearly trying to, target a very broad market, I guess. Crypto is massive. Also, like you said earlier, there are already a bunch of, aggregators out there, but you guys are very much clearly doing it differently, I guess, in a way. And yeah, quite like that. So moving on to my next touch earlier. So how will the XOX ecosystem utilize the LP farming? Can you tell us a bit more about it?
Yeah, so right now, at launch on January 13, we are launching actually 2 pools. One is going to be on Ethereum, one is going to be on the BNB chain, and that's going to be Ethereum SOS native token. So it's going to be SOS BNB or RAP BNB, as more users know it these days, and SOS Ethereum. And those pools are going to be, of course, available for users to add their tokens. Most of those of the users here that don't know how liquidity provision works, it's just going to be simple. You have $50 worth of SOS, you have $50 worth of Ethereum, and then you are a liquidity provider. Then you're going to be earning a part of that specific liquidity pool trading fees, in this case, 0.25 of that full volume, right? The more you add, the more you earn. It's as simple as that. Actually, when you see liquidity and then you're going to be taking the locking, we're actually going to be locking 100% of the liquidity funds added by us because we only can lock our own liquidity. Users are going to be able to add liquidity. So if you see 99% lock or 80% lock, it's because new liquidity is being added, and that liquidity can never be locked. That's users' liquidity, which means that they can get their liquidity back anytime. They can't withdraw. Once you actually get those LP tokens, it's going to be your, let's say, your certificate that you own part of that liquidity. You get those LP tokens that you go to the year of farming. You are that in a staking pool, and then you're going to be earning like native tokens, SOS tokens, in a long term. At the beginning, year of farming is pretty good for new holders, new ecosystems, because there's going to be the most, the APY is going to be really high. The reason for that is because there is a certain amount of tokens that go into that pool that's going to be given throughout this month or that year. We do it yearly, for example. So if there is 2 users doing the LP staking at the beginning, they're going to be getting this massive APY, 1 million APY. We don't know exactly how much it's going to be, but the more LP tokens are added to the pool, the staking is going to be going down. The APY is going to be going down. That's why staking a year of farming, it actually gets like over time. Once your protocol is launched for a few years, you start running out of tokens, like the incentive is pretty low, the pools are overcrowded, so people actually start earning less, and there is different solutions like bonds and stuff like that. But all this is really technical. You guys are going to be getting bored if I get into this, but year of farming liquidity provision is a pretty good way to earn passive income while you're waiting to make some profit or to take some profits, which is pretty normal in the space. Of course, you got to take profit. But yeah, there's going to be 2 ways that you can actually use your SOS token. You don't have to buy SOS, keep it there, and wait until you can sell. For example, you can put your SOS to work, and those 2 ways are pretty good ways to earn passive income. Yeah.
Which is also going to reduce sell pressure as well, right? For everyone worried on utility tokens, oh no, you're not running like the pump cycles of influencers constantly shilling the token and having it be all whole kind of just waste of time. Put those tokens to use, right? Earn some sustainable rewards instead of just relying on pump and dump mechanisms. That being said, this wasn't mentioned, guys, but I do want all the listeners to know. Ninja is a pretty accomplished YouTuber. I always like to mention this because he's very modest. He's not going to mention it. I'll mention it though. I don't care. So for people to understand that, it means that he knows what makes a good influencer and a bad influencer, right? Are they using artificial like pumps on their numbers, right? Do they have actual reach? Do they understand and want to dive deep into a project? Because a lot of the times, and I know this from advising on projects myself and being on teams even, that sometimes the creators with 1,000 followers are way better than the creators with 20,000, because you really have to understand, are they vanity metrics? Are they, actual real followers that are, taking action on the advice that is shared on videos? These things all matter. So don't be surprised if you see XOX Labs all over YouTube, like honestly, all over YouTube. It's already popping up on X in some pretty surprising places. I see Belle, I've known for years now, and she covered this. She covered the pre-sale. So I just wanted to mention that as well. I know we'll probably circle back and talk marketing anyways, but just wanted to slip that in there as well, when we're talking about visibility.
Definitely, yeah. I mean, he's got the headphones, so of course he's a YouTuber, man.
Man, come on.
Actually, to add a little bit into that, I used to be a YouTuber. Like it's been a long time, but being a YouTuber on crypto and working on marketing for a lot of projects and on the advisory side, it actually teach me a lot, like what do you actually want. So like, I would say that was pretty good, like to understand the uses, because I have been rock pool, I have been using platforms that they are pitching scams. I have been in every situation possible before I started to build XOX Labs, and that was the breaking point. Like I said, well, let's just build something from a user perspective, for something for users that they want to use. From a trader for a trader, that was the whole idea behind let's build this. And we have been self-funded this project. We did not do any VC sale for a few $1 million on tokens that they are going to be dumping on retail investors. We self-funded over $500,000 already in the last 2 years to XOX Labs. So we have strong revenue systems. That's why we know that we don't need any tokens. Team tokens are locked for 5 years. All the ecosystem tokens are locked. Everything is safe for the users. So that's why we are confident that we don't care much what happens at the beginning, even though we're trying to do 100x as every other project, but we'll never say that. We are here for the long term. We're here to build. We're here to add value to your tokens, and we are here to actually make a difference. That's the whole point. It's not easy. It's a space that is quite competitive. It's quite toxic sometimes. and things can get ugly at any point. But you always, you got to build and try new stuff. Yeah.
Of course, 100%. Crypto is a very, very vast, market, I guess you can call it.
Yeah.
And yeah, I mean, I've been in everyone's shoes. I've been robbed. I've been hacked. I've been exploited. But I've also made a lot of money, and I think that's what's great about it.
Yeah, absolutely.
You should never ever up, and there are a lot of things that you can do in this space, and you really being part of that. Not the rug pulls, no, but part of being stuff in this space. Cool. So you guys are also planning to launch a stablecoin.
It's a stablecoin actually already launched. Do you have any specific question, or you want me to elaborate on that? Yeah.
So yeah, just tell us more about it. How's it work? Benefit, etc.
So to understand a stablecoin, you first got to understand how the dual token mechanism work, because it is actually pretty interesting, and there is not many other projects that have built this. We call our SOSS our hybrid stablecoin because it has similar, like multiple use cases into the ecosystem, but it only works for us, and it's hybrid because we can use it for many things anytime that we want, right? So SOSS and SOS is a native token, which is a token that is actually tradable. It's the one that is on the open market. It's the one that people can buy, that people can add liquidity, for example, and they can use that later on for some payment system, for the launchpad to get like allocations or whitelist, all the sort of stuff, and to actually use around. And this is the one that they actually own. SOSS right now, it is, as mentioned, it's a hybrid stablecoin. It's actually not tradable. It's not going to be tradable at any time soon, and it's actually not competing with SOS. Some projects before they did dual token ecosystem, but both of them were trading, and both of them pretty much do the same thing, which is that's not work. You gotta have one for one thing and the other one working for something. So the main idea for SOS is to reduce inflation on SOS. So we take all the staking from SOS and we put it into the SOSS. So that way we can do an actual stable staking. A stable coin is supposed to be stable, including all the features that they provide, including a staking, which is one of the main things that users do stablecoin for. First one is going to be trading. Second one is going to be staking. There's no that many other use cases for the stablecoins. So, and of course for payment and a bunch of stuff. You can use stablecoin for everything, but the most popular one is going to be those, earning and trading. And SOSS actually has been live for the last 2 months. There is already 1.6 thousand holders already. They generated near $2,500 in the last 2 months in revenue. The APY right now is 15%, and it was at 50% at some point. And depending on how much revenue we have in the whole ecosystem, we can go up from 10% to 100% and change it anytime that we want because it's flexible. The rewards come in USDT and USDC. It's actually live on 6 chains already. People actually can get it on 6 chains. There is a limited supply of 1 million tokens for buy. And there is like 60,000 in circulation already because we gave it as a reward. Some people bought it, and it's been like going around for the last few months since we started the seed sale before. This actually allows you to go up in tiers. There is 5 tiers. The tier 1 gives you a 2% discount or 2% tax reduction in our SOS native token sell tax, and the highest tier give you a 100% discount, which means you're not going to be paying any sell tax. It gives you bonuses. It's actually a pretty cool place to actually stable earn, and that's the main thing. A stable coin, a stable earning. We like to play around with that, right? So SOS is going to be trading, it's going to be volatility, it's going to be going around the changes, the centralized changes. So the SOS is going to be only provide the users with that passive income while they're holding their own token, while they are trading, swapping, bridging, doing whatever they want. They're going to have this reliable and safe token that they know that is provided them with a 10, 15, 20% APY that they can get the withdrawals, they can get their rewards anytime that they want. There is no lock-in time, anything like that. And eventually, SOS is going to be going public, which means that it's going to be go to the decentralized exchange. It's going to be go to decentralized exchanges everywhere, similar to Frax, USDT, USDC, or any other stable coin. And that's where the game is going to be changing for SOSS. That's going to be the main thing for this stable coin. For SOS, it's going to be, of course, listing on central exchanges, listing and adding more like capabilities to it, right? But SOS and SOSS, they actually work together pretty good. One is for earning, one is for trading, one is for payment, one is for like getting a bunch of stuff into the ecosystem, of course, perks and stuff like that. But they actually have been like working really good, and everything is going to be taking place on January 17 at TGE. It's where we're really going to see them working side by side and provide the users with data staking like live and a bunch of stuff. It's going to be quite interesting to see how that works. Yeah. And actually, before I finish, you can go all the way down to the page. We are working with a multiple projects to ensure that this stablecoin gets visibility. I'm talking Frax, which is $1 billion project. I'm talking Rubik, Orion Protocol, which is another project that have done. These are ecosystems that have done millions of billions of dollars worth of volume, and they have hundreds of thousands of followers and traders, and all of them support SOS. All of them support the ecosystem. The reason why you see total burn 0% is because we have not launched. That number is going to be increasing after TGE. But if you see big companies that already see the value of SOSs, already see the value of this dual token ecosystem, that you can reduce the inflation and you can increase the earning to the users, it actually could be quite like strong. And I'm not even kidding. This could be a game changer because there is multiple billion-dollar ecosystem that have been like quite interesting on learning how it works, how do you integrate it, how you're going to be using it for gasless trading, and you just got to wait for the official announcement on new capabilities. But for now, for what it does it really good. I gotta say you that. And if you don't believe me, go ahead and try by yourself. You can get as little as 1 or 2 or 5 or 10. Yeah.
This is the benefit of getting in early too, right? Being able to see and test out existing technologies from a team. And then from there, I mean, that helps you feel potentially more comfortable with getting into a pre-sale. Cause, you know, I've been there too, right? Getting into junk pre-sales before liquidity gets added. What happens? Maybe it pumps a little bit for like 5 minutes and then it dumps right down to the bottom and nothing happens. Because even if, you know, projects are pretending to be utility bound, often it's just the guys. It's just a meme with a thin veil of, you know, utility upon it. So when you really have something that is very robust like this, that has a working product both on 2 different sides of it and partners that I have never seen personally on a pink sale launched product, this is something you have to get your eyes on. I mean, you know, let's just a quick little sidebar there. How long did it take to foster those relationships? Because these are big names, like you mentioned, Frax and all these guys.
Yeah. No, we have been working, as mentioned, we have a BD team, and some of our BD members come from big projects on the space, including Neo Foundation, the Kyber, so they have been doing all the back-end like connections. It takes a lot of time to close a collaboration with them. We actually got over 20 ongoing like requests for collaborations and work, and you know, like implementing and a bunch of stuff, integration, and it takes sometimes months because they even reply a long time. It's a mess, but once it happens, it's pretty good for the ecosystem, right? So you got to try. And the thing that you mentioned as well that I got to touch is going to be pink sale. You know, most people ask, you build this massive ecosystem, you are building, you got 30 partners, including like BNB chain, these massive chains. What do you go to pink sale? And you know, there is a real simple explanation. As mentioned, we already have. Before we launched, we planned to go on pin sale. We had a full plan for do the sales on 6 centralized, let's put it like centralized like launch pads. But it just didn't align with our idea of decentralization and no custodial application. So we decided like this is not gonna be that great for the brand. But if we are building this decentralized launchpad, we stand for it. We don't like the way C5 launchpad do their business because most users don't understand it. They see a project raise $200,000, that's it. But they don't know everything that happens on the back end. There is a lot of fishy stuff going on that they cannot understand until they become a developer and a project launcher. Something that is launching a token, you got to pay upfront fees. They invest themselves, they get all their money, and then there is a refund up to 100% in 2 weeks. It's a pretty much. I have seen projects and I have BDs that work with projects to raise $200,000, and after refunds they go $6,000. So think about it. Things can get really, really ugly with this launchpad. So we say, okay, let's keep it simple. Let's go in pin sale. Let's do a community sale, and let's just go ahead with the launch. If the tokens are not fully sold, we are gonna be burning on those tokens. That's gonna be. We also have a massive burning event happening after TGE. 1 week, we are gonna be burning 25% of the SOS supply, which is gonna be around $4 million a launch price at 0.1. So that's gonna be massive bullish for the ecosystem. Everyone is just waiting for that because it's gonna be 5% daily. And all the unsold token from the sale, if there is, because we already know that the last day of the sale is when things really get crazy. if there is any down. So token, we are going to be selling it as well. Everything is locked, everything is safe. So we're just ready for the launch. So we don't care much about the reputation of Pincel. Pincel is just a platform. People don't understand it. Pincel is a platform that allows users to invest. It's about the users that actually want to invest in each particular project. You know, we are not blaming Pincel or Gempad or DAO Maker or something like this. It's about the users, you know.
And it's actually to touch on Pincel specifically. Pincel have been in a lot of hot water recently as well. And I don't want to talk too much about them, but yeah, it's a lot of people are very unhappy with the kind of ethics of their company and what they were doing with like token fees and stuff. So they are in a bit of hot water, but hopefully we'll see you guys power through that much better.
Yeah.
But yeah, Pincel is a very big platform. It's a competitor, I guess, for every kind of platform. But they are not, you know, in a market where there's no like barrier to entry, right? Anyone can make a pre-sale. It's all about just getting reputation, building your brand, and obviously security for investors. Just being conscious of time, I'm going to try and fly through these points I've got. So you guys also want to release a multi-chain launchpad, which is you guys have. What do you guys have planned with the mobile DeFi wallet and the portfolio manager?
So just to keep it simple for you to understand, the next thing that's going to be rolling out is going to be the launchpad, because the data we get is still like 40 to 50% development. It's going to take a few months to be able to launch a beta, right? Because that needs to, at least for launch, need to have steady implemented chains at least 200 plus liquidity sources, and it has to be fully working. The launchpad is going to be next. Now, this launchpad, I'm not going to be spilling the beans, and I'm sure you guys understand, because we want to have the wow factor at the beginning, but we have been starting because this is a decentralized launchpad, it's a non-custodial launchpad similar to Pincel, but the things that it's bringing is actually fixing all the issues that this sort of launchpad have. As you mentioned, at the token, they are getting tokens and selling. Everyone knows that because there is a way to pay with tokens. We are fixing everything that people don't like and getting all the things that people like about this decentralized launchpad and actually building the best possible launchpad that we can. And we got a lot of feedback, not only from us, the team member. We actually reached out to a bunch of people to get, what do you think about this? Like most of the biggest traders, this decentralized launchpad, what do they like, what they don't like, and how would they like to see things? Some of the feedback were like they actually have to go from the launchpad to the DEX to trade, so we can fix that. That they actually don't have a referral system beyond the launchpad that people actually can refer a project and earn without having to contact the team and then get their money after. We have to build all this personalized system where actually we know who is contacting you, and then you just have a code, and then you can actually earn percent of that sale. And it's going to be pretty interesting. There is a lot of things going on around. There's going to be a launchpad where you can actually invest, swap, and stake in only one place. It's going to be pretty cool. And we know that we're going to be rolling out a pretty strong launchpad, which of course it's not going to be easy to this example. You cannot compete with Uniswap at the moment, because this sort of projects, 99% of the users, they already have it in their mind that this is the place where I have to trade, even though there is million other projects with a better user interface. But we gotta position ourselves at the beginning, start slowly, and then start doing the user acquisition, like teaching, educational, and doing a lot of on-chain and off-chain marketing, doing Web2 and Web3 marketing, and trying to position this launchpad. But if we list in the right chains, if we do the right thing, this could be a massive hit, because as mentioned, there is non-decentralized launchpad that is nowhere near as close as what we're building. And we're supporting pretty much all the established blockchains, and we're going to be supporting all the new upcoming blockchains, and some chains that are already working with us on the background that is going to be upcoming blockchains that are already on testnet, that they are actually supporting it fully. And most of the products launching there are going to be with us on the centralized side. So, of course, so this could be really massive. And as mentioned, 20% of all the revenue on that launchpad is going to be going back to the SOS stakers and the holders. So we're always going to be giving this revenue sharing system, which is something that we enjoy, and we have been giving so much away. So everything and nothing is perfect. There is two sides of the story. To build a protocol like this takes a lot of development, takes a big team, takes a lot of time. And right now we focus on the launch of the project. So yeah, I mean, it's going to be launching in the next few months, and I'm not going to be talking much about it, but I argue it's going to be quite interesting. It's going to be quite competitive. I can guarantee you that. I believe you also mentioned about the mobile wallet. It's going to be going most likely in 2025. This year we are not focusing on that. There's early developments already, but it's still nowhere there yet. There's listing site also. It's going to be for 2025. 2024 we're going to try to roll out the launchpad, the DEX aggregator V1, the V2 of course. We call it V1 internally. I don't know why. And also the lottery game, which is going to be quite interesting. It's just for the users. There is no revenue there, but it actually adds some burning to the ecosystem. It adds some volume to the ecosystem. And as for example, PancakeSwap lottery has billions of dollars of volume. So it's actually quite cool. But we don't have revenue, we implement it with Chainlink Oracle, so it's quite safe, if 100% safe. Like we don't have any decision making on the system, anything like that. So there is a lot of stuff going on that I can spend hours and hours talking. But there is a lot of excitement since coming up this year. Yeah.
Fantastic. Again, just being conscious of time, I'm going to try and fly through these questions. Anyone can rewatch or head to your Telegram if they have any more questions that I haven't asked. Obviously, we'll ask community questions, but I know Adam has to go in about 15 minutes, so try and get through this. So cool. So just to summarize, obviously you guys have a lot of things going on. You guys have a lot of utilities, different products, etc. Just quickly give us a recap as to what is currently live, what people can use right now, and what is going to be coming next. I know you said the launchpad. What is live?
So right now, if you actually want to get involved with the SOS ecosystem, you just go to xoxlabs.io. First, you're going to be getting the assets page. You can click the assets page. That's going to be the first one on the left there. And that's going to give you a whole idea of your portfolio. It's going to give you an idea of what you're holding. If you connect your wallet, of course, it's going to give you some percentage, a bunch of stuff. It's still the V1. After that, you actually can go to trade and you can start doing your trading on the trade V1. But right now, if you don't connect your wallet, you're not going to be able to see anything. You're going to be able to see your assets tracker. You're going to be trading on 6 chains and the trading route, all that sort of stuff. Then you can go to the stable coin and you can get some of that stable coin and start earning a passive staking from it. On TGE, on January, everything that you see is going to be launching. So the yield farming, the staking, the referral system, the bridge is going to be launching. So in only 2 days later, we're going to be launching everything. Deployment coming, all that is going to be launching in just 2 days. So this full DApp is going to be fully functional day 1 of TGE. So pretty excited about it. And it's actually, as mentioned, as you see, over 1,500 users already on holders already on the SOSs. They have been earning a lot of money. This $2,200 that you see is money that has already been withdrawn, because they actually have a lot of money that they choose when to withdraw. Unrealized gains, that is near $10,000, which means that users have already been making in the last 2 or 3 months around $10,000 to $12,000 in revenue from the SOSs. That's why it's actually being quite well positioned in between. That's one of the utilities that they like the most in SOS right now, because DEXs, there is a lot. Once we launch the DEX V1, then the DEX V2, the DEX V1 is not going to be there anymore, which is going to change it, that one for this one. So there's not going to be any need for the DEX V1 anymore. And then launch the launchpad, and we have a redesigned DEX website V2, which everyone said this one looks pretty good, but we want to go a little bit more like simplistic. We gonna be changing some of the colors and some of the backgrounds and making everything a little bit more user friendly, because sometimes a bunch of stuff can get users confused. And if you don't believe me or not, that actually can be a deal breaker for a lot of users. So there is a lot of stuff coming up. Now, TGE on January 13th, there is a $5,000 buying competition right now ongoing. With already like 50 members already entered the buying competition in the last few hours. We have the TGE event, as mentioned. We have central asset change listing in the next few days. We have the 25% of the supply burning coming. We have all the burning of the unsold tokens upcoming as well. We have 2 chains listing. There is a bunch of stuff. So it's going to be a busy week. I already have not slept in the last 2 weeks, so this one is going to be the same. But excited, yeah. Excited.
I wanted to add to that just really, really quick. I don't know if it was mentioned just yet, but I think it's absolutely amazing. This referral tab here, I know it's saying deployment coming, but I wanted to tell you a little bit about it and definitely reference the docs as well. This is like an amazing way to do referrals. We're not talking custom links. We're talking literally just a code. You give that code to a friend, they're earning, you're earning, and it allows for mass potential for sign up. And this isn't something that, hey, I'm going to invite you to a meme coin, or I'm going to invite you into some hyperinflationary yield farm that you might get wrecked on. This is the purest utility you could possibly find, right? So you could send someone new to crypto and say, hey, look, I know you're just getting back into crypto. I wanted to show you a platform that I'm in, that I've done some swaps with come, January, and take a look. And hey, you know what? Use this referral code, super simple, and we can both earn on it. See what you think. And then just with a few swaps, with a few interactions with XOXS, the stable coin here, and a little bit of farming, people get comfortable, and then they really get committed to using this as their place to do swaps and staking and everything in between. And what I love too is this question might come in the minds of investors. Well, why bother? I mean, think about it, right? Uniswap already exists. PancakeSwap already exists. QuickSwap already exists. These legacy projects. Well, here's the thing. There's other AMMs as well. There's plenty of other AMMs and cross-chain aggregators. The thing is, they have to do something special. There is enough room in this space for tons of competition, but you have to have a differentiator. This project does. It's an entire ecosystem. Fee reduction down to 0, which is incredible. It gives people a reason to stay. So I just wanted to make sure that kind of hits again for people listening. And I know we went over a lot, but I wanted to make sure to make that reference when it comes to referral, and then also the kind of that why statement.
No, I do agree with you in one thing. XOX Labs for a new trader, for a new user, can be a little bit overwhelming because it's just too much. Like, you cannot understand it in 1 second. We do understand that. We're trying to make some educational content, launching in the next few days for users to actually understand and try to familiarize themselves with how everything works, because it is a lot of things that they had never seen before, like the SOSX, for example, the gamified referral system. What is it? How do I earn from it? Sometimes they're lazy to just even try to learn, right? So we are aware of this. So it takes some time for this, they get used to it, and they want to try it, and they want to play around with it. But once they start picking up traction, it's going to be quite cool, yeah.
I really like the referral system. It's working very well for PinkCell. I know I don't want to compare too much, but it works very well for PinkCell, and it is a very good feature for any kind of swap related app and
yeah. But
like
to add to that, it's gonna take you only 1 minute. The referral system on PinkCell works for users, and there is a limit that you can earn. So the things that we are doing is gonna be, apart from allowing users to do the referral and to do the affiliate, also allows the BDs, which is the most important thing. PinkCell already have all these BDs, so people actually contacting pros and they actually connect them, but they get a percentage for that bunch of stuff. But we are gonna build that for everyone. Let's say that my friend is launching a parade. I give you my code. Then when you are setting up the sale, you enter that code, and you're gonna be earning, let's say, 1% of the total raise, because that's what it. And that comes from our revenue. Let's say that we have a 3% tax in the total raise, and then we give you a percentage of that to you. So that people know that if this project raises 1,000 BNB and I can get a percentage for that just by sharing my code, just by contacting the right people, there is going to be people working only doing so. Plus the users, they're still going to be getting their referral. The BDs or business development and the agents, they're still going to be making their money, and there's not going to be any token selling, anything like that. It's going to be quite cool, and they're going to be able to buy and swap and do a bunch of stuff. So referrals are something that Web2 does pretty good. Affiliate marketing is billions of dollars is $1 billion like space. So we want to bring some of that to DeFi. I don't know why DeFi projects are not like taking in more seriously into affiliates and passive income with that much stuff, but I believe that is crucial for the growth of this space. Yeah.
Fantastic. Yeah, definitely agree. Generally referrals are great, like you were saying, but if you do it differently, and the way that you guys are doing it for not only the users but for the PDs as well, I like that. We're going to move on quickly to the tokenomics. So tell us about how the tokenomics for the XOX token work, the supply distribution, token allocations, and what you're doing with the token basically.
So tokenomics, let's call it like token allocation. Pretty much the only tokens that are going to be going to in TGE is going to be going to supply. It's going to be seed sale, pre-sale, and private sale tokens. Public sale It's the same pre-sale, and those gonna be the tokens that's gonna be going in. Nothing else. Team tokens are locked for 5 years. Community tokens, treasury, everything that you see here is locked for months, years, and a long time because we don't need to have any tokens. Then tokenomics, some people actually realize it as well as tax fees. We don't have buy fees. There is 0% buy fees unless you decide to have buy fees. There is two options. If you want to pay a 10% fee, you can get a 10% of that fee in SOSs as well. That is a personal choice for the users. And there is a 10% fee. 4% of that is going to be going to the SOS stakers. Some people ask me, why do you have fee? But I explained that this fee pretty much is going all to the stakers. And I do believe that there is nothing wrong with having a little bit if it goes to the right places. Most of the projects that have zero fees, zero revenue, and have zero working utilities, those are selling a bunch of tokens because the only way that they have to make money or list on centralized exchanges to do a bunch of stuff is by selling tokens. There is no other way of making revenue unless they took the 51% of the sale and they are still doing everything with that. But that's not true. Pretty much all of them are just dumping on their own communities to survive the project, right? That's why you see that they die. So having a little bit of sale tax, which is going to be going to the SOS stakers, it's going to be going to that treasure, it's going to be going to development, marketing, and 1% goes to the team because we have a massive team and of course it takes a lot of funds. There is nothing wrong with that. So far, we have not got any feedback, any bad feedback about it. Everyone is fine with it because eventually on centralized exchanges, they are not going to be paying any fees. So if they don't want to pay fees, they trade on centralized exchanges. If they want to pay their fees, they pay on the centralized exchanges, which is pretty normal. And everything else about tokenomics, I believe, like everything is made with, as mentioned, with long-term up to 8 years investing. Liquidity is locked from 1 to 5 years. We want to do a 1 year first to test that everything is working fine in case we have to do any migration, which there's not going to be any need. But if not, it's going to be a fully 5-year investing, 100% of the project own liquidity. And then the user's liquidity is never locked because and you cannot lock user's liquidity as mentioned before. And yeah, everything was developed with long-term idea in mind, tokenomics and tax and everything. Yeah.
Fantastic. Is there going to be any kind of relation to the token just to make it?
Well, I didn't get it. The audio was cut off.
Is there going to be any revenue distribution to the token, like buybacks or anything, just to make it clear for people?
Yeah, absolutely. There's going to be some of the funds that's going to be going. There is a market making working on the side as well. Market making usually do a bunch of buying and selling, and they actually like shape the chart a little bit better, and they actually do make revenue as well. But there's that burning. We're trying to decrease the supply because inflation is one of the worst way it's one of the easiest way to decrease the value of an asset, not only a token. As people got to understand that. So we're having a massive deflectionary system by having this money going in, by having new listing, by having the new LPs on different chains, by having the bridge where you can actually bridge your token across multiple chains without paying any fees in just 1 minute. It's going to be a pretty good way it's going to allow people to actually do arbitrage trading. They're going to be able to buy cheap here, sell expensive there. It's going to be a lot of trading going on. There's going to be a lot of that pool have more percentages. I'm going to be bridging my tokens to the pool. I'm going to be adding liquidity there, coming back, doing the farming here. I'm going to be buying SOSs there, here, and there. And it's going to be quite cool. So we're looking forward for the TGE. There is a lot of stuff coming up. There is a lot of excitement around the TGE. And just got to go through the 2 days of sale. 100%, 100 Ethereum is going to be the soft cap. Most likely, we're going to be reaching that tomorrow. And the last day, it's going to be the crazy day of the sale. I need to get some sleep. That's all I'm going to say. But exciting, man. Exciting days, yeah.
No worries, man. Yeah, I know, man. It's tough managing a project sometimes, and sometimes you end up on other people's time zones. I mean, I'm here in the UK. I'm UTC, and I'm always up till like 5 a.m. because everyone works on EST, man. It's crazy. But yeah, cool.
Sleep, yeah,
I know. So yeah, we touched earlier at the beginning that we're going to go over some marketing. So after learning about the XOX ecosystem, obviously I've done tons of research. I think it offers more than enough value to do very well. You guys clearly do something different, something really good in the space. But yeah, based on everything you have to offer. So obviously without the right exposure and marketing and user acquisition, it's going to be very difficult to continue scaling. Even though you already have 4,000 users and this and that. But what do you guys have planned to keep customer acquisition and user acquisition high, and to keep scaling your products and services and also your user growth?
Yeah, that question is more complex than just I'm going to be doing a bunch of marketing. You know, we were talking with Adam. Every time we do an AMA, we talk about it because some users actually they only care. The only thing they worry about is the marketing. And we always say marketing with no purpose is wasted marketing. So the first thing we got to make sure after 2 years that the platform are working smoothly, that everything is working great, there is no code, full code, or anything like that. After that, once we are fully stable or the platform is working perfectly on multiple chains already, then we can start actually pumping up the user acquisition. That is done through the DeFi Alliance we already built with 30 plus partners, projects that have hundreds of thousands of users every single day. Like QuickSwap is a partner. We have 30 partners, including chains and new chains that are supporting the ecosystem on the background. So an easy way to bring users is to having good relationship with the new chains. They're going to be supporting your ecosystem. They're going to be adding you as early adopters of the chain, early builders on that blockchain. That could be a pretty good way. There is actually a strategic marketing, targeted marketing going to those users that we actually can target all the protocols that are on the same space as you are, the same sort of product, and then you can target them as well. But we are not like competing with our partners, even though we are in the same sort of we do the same, right? But we're different. We try to there's a word in English with that, but I just gonna find it right now. And there is gonna be a lot of BD work. There is a lot of integrations. There is a lot of collaboration going on, and there's gonna be a lot of education about the platform as well. Because as you mentioned, you cannot get in just one time. So the most important thing that we have to make sure is that once we bring a user to the platform, that they actually want to stay, that they want to trade, and they like what they are seeing and what they're using. That's going to be the way that we can build those, foster those users, and they actually want to use the platform every single day. The first thing, without doing anything, is to ensure that the platform is a competitive and it's a good place that users will actually want to use. Once we have that 100% clear, which is done through community feedback, it's through testing, through like stress testing, a bunch of stuff, to ensure that, okay, now we have a good product fully set up, and then we're going to be going to the masses. And that's the way we actually can scale up. And of course, depend on the sale, depend on a bunch of stuff, depend on the funds and the treasury, depends on strategic investments that can be done on the equity side. There is a bunch of stuff that doesn't get to the regular investors, but to run a project, there is a lot of small things, not only doing the pre-sale. I don't sit here and think about the pre-sale that, you know, there is a bunch of things that you got to think. What do you do after TGE? How do you make sure that it's going to be enough buying pressure? How do you going to be launching the new platform? There is enough fund for this. There is it's a lot of work, and we know that the idea is there, the team is there, that we only have to make sure that the pro is there as well, and then we can just go to the masses, you know.
Exactly, I agree, and it's definitely a question that you can't just say, you know, oh, we're going to be doing marketing. It's very
it doesn't work like that. Yeah.
No, I appreciate the you know, I guess summarized response. But yeah, definitely, I agree. It's something that's going to take time, something that's going to need a lot of time and effort. But obviously, Telegram is only a small part of a very large market. You know, Twitter or X is massive. You know, there's so many different ways you can market this thing. And I'm very excited to see what you guys are, you know, going to be doing over the next few weeks and months.
Yeah, we're also excited, man. It's gonna be a hell of a lot of work. Most of my friends say, "How is life without having an 8 to 5?" I wish I have a 9 to 5. I wish, like our life is 24/7 all day. But you know, we are here now. We have been doing this for the last few years, and you guys understand what I mean. There is something about crypto that we know. Those who are in it, we know that there is gonna be the currency of the future. They're gonna be the blockchain. Mm-hmm. Blockchain is gonna be taking over eventually. We are not gonna be using cash like ancestors for the whole time forever, right? So Web 2, Web 3, they are going to be coming together eventually, and I do believe that right now we're just building. We are just getting started. So that's what we do, you know. Gotta make sacrifices. Exactly. Yeah.
And you know, if I can share too, you know, just from an investor standpoint, right? When you buy a pre-sale, when you buy a token, whatever you're buying the team along with it, by the way, whether you want it or not, Whether you're excited about that or you're really bummed about it, you're buying the team when you buy a token, just like a company. You know, you're buying into the CEO's vision. You're buying into the CMO's capability to market or the CTO's ability to be able to implement technology that they're stating. So this is why, in my opinion, I mean, I'm biased. Yes, I do this professionally at AMAs, but this is why AMAs are so important, especially when you can see the team driving it forward, because you can start to get a gauge as an indicator of, is this team serious? Do they have another job that they're doing besides this, or is this their core thing? Are they getting sleepless nights? Because they probably should be if this is their baby, if this is their, you know, just time investment, or is this a side thing that you do once in a while when you can? That's not going to be a successful project this ambitious. That's the attitude for a meme coin, which is totally cool. That's fine. But for something this ambitious, you want to see Ninja up at 2 a.m. Sorry, Ninja. Apologies, you got to do that. But you want, you know what I mean? These are the things. These are the things you want to see. These are the things you want to see. And I just wanted to make that point as well. So I know we're kind of coming to the end here, but I did just want to say again, you know, don't be afraid to jump into this product. You have time to research it. You have time to watch the docs video, to check the KYC badge, the audit badge. You have time to look at the tokenomics and make sure they make sense to you. And with that as well, start to compare it. Do a market analysis, a very rudimentary one. See what else is out there, right? I think a great example is Solanapad. They came out of nowhere, and now they're getting a ton of volume from these sole projects. So think about, okay, well, if they came out of nowhere in a matter of weeks, what can something like this do that has a visible team, that has been doing things for many years and has huge partnerships, right? It's not a guarantee that it's going to be the next, you know, Bitcoin or something crazy, right? And Ninja never promised that. In fact, he actually said the opposite. He said, you're gonna see a team that works hard, but we're not going to overpromise and undeliver. Instead, I hope you guys can discover this and come to your conclusions on what you think. But I think it's going to be something that you'll have a lot of fun checking out.
Yeah. Well said, buddy.
Definitely agree. Really, really good information for you guys. I really do appreciate you all coming along and speaking all about XOX Labs. I'm going to ask 2 more questions from me, and then we'll hand it over to the community. I know, Adam, that you do have to go in a few minutes.
Oh no, so I'm actually okay now. I went ahead and moved that booking because I'm just in the combo. I can't leave this. I'm serious.
Oh, fantastic.
So don't feel rushed at all. Genuinely.
Cool. Yeah. All right, no worries. Cool. So 2 more questions from me, and we'll move on to the community. So without a doubt, the bull market is coming very soon. The SEC is expected to announce the Bitcoin ETFs today in a couple of hours. So everyone's very excited for that. But say, for example, that the ETF gets delayed, or if we see a pump and dump in the market when Bitcoin, you know, returns maybe below 35K, 30K, which I hope really doesn't, but just considering the scenario, what do you guys have planned for this scenario? Because we know that when the market is kind of low, not many people want to invest, not many people want to launch projects in a red market, I guess. But maybe not even just now, maybe just in the future. What do you guys have planned to kind of mitigate that? And also, you know, what do you have planned to take advantage of the market if it does pump?
So I would say that's honestly, you know, if I tell you 100%, I have not even think about it, because my mentality with this launch is, and of course, because we're investing a lot of startups and a bunch of stuff. The best time to build, actually, bear markets are really good for us, the developers and the team project, because it is just more quiet and we can actually focus on building and getting ready for the bull markets. That's why it's not the same for investors. They care about the bull market because there's more volume of a bunch of stuff. But bear markets are not that bad for the development point of view. I can guarantee you that, because you can just, as we have been doing for the last 2 years and the last few months of bear market, like we were building. Now that definitely can affect the volume, definitely can affect the user acquisition, definitely can affect a bunch of stuff. But we have enough funds for developing for years. It's not going to be ending anytime soon, because of course we have all the sort of businesses, a bunch of stuff that we can self-fund the ecosystem. And it is what it is. You cannot go against, you cannot like market your project, you cannot think about your project like, oh, we are going to be fine while the bull market is here, we are going to be screwed while the bear market is here. It's going to happen to everyone. It's going to happen to all the Bitcoin users, it's going to happen to all the Solana projects, to all the Ethereum projects. You just got to think about it linearly. You got to go like, whatever happens, I'm going to still building, I'm going to be doing the marketing, I'm going to be bringing those users, I'm going to be trying my best all the time. The chart yet is going to go in up 2,000% in one day, it's going to be down 80% in a few months. It is what it is, pumps and that happens. But the difference between us, a good project, and a meme coin is that once they dump, there's no coming back. But a 40% retracement for a project like us doesn't mean anything, because if it happens to the top major projects and the top major assets on the space, it doesn't mean anything. Just got to be patient. You got to earn from the other ways of the ecosystem, the other sort of protocols, right? So a retracement of the market doesn't affect my mood, it doesn't affect the business, and it doesn't really affect much, because we still have our own plan, which is a vision for the long term already. And the only thing that really affects is the mood and is the community vibe, because they do want to be in the bull market all the time. But everyone got to realize that it's impossible. That's why you see communities when since the bear market they are dead, but when the bull market is like comes back, it is crazy, wild party again, right? But from our leaders' point of view, for let's say developers or CEO or founder point of view, or something that is running a business, it does not much different, at least from my point of view. It is always a bull market, it's always a bear market. You still got to do the same thing all the time,
Definitely, and I agree with that. I think sometimes it's good to kind of adapt and change the market. Obviously, this space is all about adapting to changes, but the mentality that whatever happens isn't a problem for you, is a very strong mentality, and I respect that a lot. Fantastic, amazing.
Yeah, one more thing also about that. I'm sorry, about investing.
No, go for it.
If you are a trader, for example, people actually hate those who buy the top. Bad traders, I'm gonna call it that. Those who always buy all-time high, they are the only ones that are angry when the market has a retracement. But for good traders, a 40% retracement, a 60% retracement, those who already know the technology, those who believe on what they are investing, those are going to be the ones that are going to be making the most money. And those are the ones that are making the most money. So as a long-term investor, when I see a 40% retracement in an asset that I already hold, that is a party for me, because I did not want to take profits anyway, but I can have another entry. And that's the difference between a good trader and someone that is trying to buy the next 1,000 product, that is trying to make that money every single day. If you have $100, you can make that money every single day, because you got to be smart with your investment. It doesn't mean that everyone has to be a long-term holder. It doesn't mean that like day traders is the bad thing, but you just got to be realistic. There's always going to be ups and downs, and you got to benefit from those downs. Those are the best entries. Those are the ones that are going to make you the most money. So don't be angry. Don't be mad. Just try to earn from that time, and it's going to be fine for you. That's going to be my feedback for community listeners. DORPs, retracements are not a bad thing. They actually can be really good. Yeah.
And also just to quickly add to that, don't be afraid. It sounds so obvious, right? But don't be afraid to get into utility projects. They're back, guys. There was a period of time where people were allergic to utility projects because there were so many junk ones, and they're like, I'll just get into a meme instead. At least has a clear identity, right? During that period, because I do a lot of kind of both sides of the table, interviewing and presenting, right? I interviewed Tectum, which is a huge project with their soft notes, right? And I interviewed them, and they were at exactly as Ninja was saying about that 40% retracement. He wasn't shaking. He said, no, we know our technology with our soft notes. We're extremely confident. Look at them now, right? 300 mil, it's huge. It's huge, guys.
I can tell you, and this is personal. This is not related to XOX Labs or anything, but I bought so much Bitcoin on the 15,000 range, on the 16,000, because I knew that actually I was waiting for that. I was waiting for that retracement. I was like, this is the time to actually invest, because I already bought a 30. I actually have Bitcoin since the high was 30-something thousand. I did not buy a 40, 50 because I was already too high. But that 20% I was already buying. 20,000, 18,000 I was already getting a little bit more. And now it's already how much? Like 40,000, something like this. So of course you gotta like capitalize on those times. It's gonna be the best time for you to actually make money. Don't be scared and just be patient.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, that's not related to XOX Labs. Now we are out of topic.
Just on the topic of utility, yeah.
Yeah.
You're lucky, man. You're one of the ones that bought Bitcoin low. I was alright. I mean, I bought some around 25K, but I was waiting for it to hit that 12K that everyone really wanted it to hit. So I was
Yeah.
left behind, unfortunately, but it's all good. One last
Eventually,
question from me.
we're going to 100,000 eventually, right? To 1 million.
Exactly. Probably more than that, to be honest.
Yeah.
Who knows? We might hit like 50K today after the ETF announcement, but we're
Wow.
still praying for that. But yes, so my last question for you guys from me before we start the community questions and the trivia, just to summarize everything, why would you guys personally consider XOX a good product to be part of, not only on the investor side but also on the user side as well?
Ooh, if I can lead this. So
ahead,
on the outside in, right? Again, not part of the team, but working alongside them, seeing what type of character Ninja and his team and those he associates are. First of all, before anything, you have to have a baseline of trust. Now, this isn't to say trust Ninja because I say so. That would be silly, right? Instead, use it as a little bit of a lead to jump in further yourself. So what I can tell you is, out of all the founders I've met, he is definitely in the top percentile. And I have met a lot of project owners, many. I think about like at least 100 different project owners now, and definitely in the top percentile. Now, amongst that as well, pair that then with the project. Now that you have at least some sort of level of trust, once you get there, right? Then look at the product. When you look at the product, is it safe? Do they have an audit? Are they held responsible if something goes wrong, like if funds are stolen or something crazy? Yes, and yes, right? Are they doxxed? Well, obviously here, yes, but also a video that's doxxed as well. But in addition to that, then you go to the third stage, which can either be the most exciting or the biggest letdown, is does this utility make sense? Is this a copycat of a copycat, a derivative of a derivative? Is it something new? Is there a value add? And I hope by the end of this AMA, you've heard multiple different points of it being something that is unique in this space, something that truly is that all-in-one solution, and looking to really make a stand and actually be that place for people to do everything that you would normally do when it comes to Web3, from staking to swapping to cross-chain aggregation, all of those things you're doing on a daily basis to get in and out of projects, plays, blue chips, whatever it might be. And also, you have to think about the long term as well. People love stable coins, maybe a little bit less now because the market's taken off, but people like that security of stable coins. Well, why not earn on those stables you're already holding, and being able to get into a product that has more safety with it feels better than getting into some high risk yield farm that gets you 30%, 50%, but you don't know the team. They don't even have an audit. There's all these inherent risks. So I would say those three tiers are so valuable to me, and why I think this is special. Again, when it comes to the user, it just comes back to this being the one place to do everything, the token backing that system in the sense of, getting you access to the most, getting reductions on fees, incentivizing within bonuses in the ecosystem as well when it comes to farming. All those things come into play. So that really is XOX Labs to me, and I think you guys should check it out. But I'm going to turn it over to Ninja to fill in any blanks there as far as why.
Yeah, you say everything correctly, man, and you got a vision perfectly. We are not making promises, as you mentioned before. We are trying our best every single day, and that's never going to change. We have clear focuses. We have clear, how do you say that, targets, and we know exactly what we want to achieve on the market. The road is going to be a bumpy road. It's not going to be an easy thing. It's not going to be always all-time high. Guys, you got to be realistic. Markets changes, trend changes. It's going to be pumps and downs. There's going to be problems. There's going to be bugs. There's going to be a bunch of stuff. But the thing is that it shows that we are taking the right steps. It shows the community is there, the support is there, and we have a bunch of ideas, as you mentioned, that no other players are trying. The two token ecosystem, the gas resolution, the launchpad that has only one place. There is no other launchpad like in the space yet. There is, but they are not that great. Absolutely, we have studied pretty much all of them. If you go to our docs and if you look at the wallet section, we study over 20 wallets to ensure that we are going to be bringing something different, and all this sort of stuff, all while giving back to the community. We can be confident to say that you are into something that we actually putting all the skin on the ground here, and it's not going to change. Anyway, the pre-sale is live. If you have any questions, join our community. We're always going to be there. Our CMs are pretty good. They are always answering your questions, your concern, all the bunch of stuff. I love the AMA, man. Thanks to the hosts for the community owner, CryptoFrog buddy. You are an amazing host, and I'm glad to be here with the community. We have not finished, right? We will still have the Q&A. I'm not sure. But yeah, looking
yes,
forward.
We're not done yet.
I'm like finishing, but we are not there yet. So yeah, I mean, excited for what's to come. That's all I gotta say. Sometimes I talk too much because I'm really passionate about this. It's been like this for the last 2 years, but right now we're in the. Yesterday when the press started, the pre-sale started, I was like, this is an exciting time. I was like crazy. I didn't know what to say, and we are not even go to the TGE. We already did platform launch before. It was pretty excited. But these days actually been really good. Yeah.
Amazing, fantastic. Well, let me let's move on to our community questions. Obviously, we might not be able to answer all of these questions, but if you guys do have any questions that we don't cover here, I'm sure Adam and Ninja will be more than happy to answer them in their Telegram. So make sure you head over there and join. So I'm going to pick a couple questions here. See, so many questions that Telegram lags out for me sometimes. Okay, so here's a good question. If I decide to pull my LP, do I have to claim my accumulated rewards first in order to not forfeit them, or does this action not affect my accumulated rewards? Also, do the rewards come automatically into my wallet, or do I have to claim manually?
No, when you claim, you get your rewards. So it's gonna be pretty easy process. You claim and you get your rewards. You can claim percentage. You can claim on a specific percentage of the amount of liquidity that you have, or you can just claim all of it. It's gonna be optional. Yeah.
There you go. Fantastic. So here's another question. Okay, good question from Rayon. How does XOX Launchpad safety mechanism work? Will there be badges or levels as we see on other launchpads like Safety Badge, also proving us the product is safe and secure?
Yeah, absolutely. There's always going to be that sort of a layer one security. You know, we never have a voice on which product can do a sale or not. That's always going to be up to the community, because as we always say, we are building a non-custodial decentralized launchpad, which means that it's an open for everyone launchpad for all investors or developers, launchers, whatever it is. But we do take, if you want to have more security, to have a better tier or all that sort of stuff, there is always going to be that the same process that I got to do for pink sale, for example, but we're always going to try to improve it, right? But when it comes to refund, there's not going to be refund. It's going to be the optional refund while the pre-sale is ongoing, of course. There's going to be like, we're going to be picking the price that's going to be launching. We are not going to be doing that, because most of the launch pads, they are not making any revenue, and they are used, as mentioned, there's a lot of fishy stuff going on around it. I'm not talking about the big ones like DAO Maker or like whatever. I'm not going to be mentioning them. Those are already established on the space, and they are massive already. And on what they do, they have their DAO system. But for what we're doing, it's going to be, of course, security, and not even talking about code security, talking about user security. Of course, absolutely, 100%. Yeah.
Great, good to know that. Obviously, security is the most important thing, and it's important that we keep those things on the platform. So let's have a look. Okay, good question from another love. How do you intend to compete with bigger projects, fund all the utilities you have, and be fully sustainable when you have a gasless trading? And how do you convince users to switch from platforms like PancakeSwap or Uniswap to use or adopt your own ecosystem? I think we've covered this slightly, but
yeah,
summary would be nice.
We cover this a lot. There is a lot that goes into it. It's not a white or green question. It's not a 1 minute answer. I can guarantee you that. There is a lot that goes into it, and it's not easy. It's really not easy. We talk about launching on the new chains. We talk about having the strategic collaborations. We talk about providing the best rates. If you're trying to do something for us as an aggregator, Our work is to provide the best rates. So if we do not provide the best rates, nobody is going to be using the platform, right? So you got to stand up by what you're trying to do. Once you achieve that, it's all about how do you market it. It's about who is running the project. It's about how strong is the team. It's about how much money do you have, because funds is one of the main things. If you don't have the funds, you cannot run the ecosystem, right? So you got to have the treasury, you got to have investment, you got to have those there is a lot of things. It's really a headache. It's not like, as mentioned, it's not a simple answer. But remember, all the projects that you see today that are established, they used to be a new project. So because there is already established companies, because there is already established ecosystems and projects, doesn't mean that every other ecosystem should stop developing, or any other new project trying to get into the space, they should stop, because that's not how it works. If you have if you understand the pros that are already live, and if you think that you can do it better, and if you already have the funds, and if you have the expertise, and if you have the team, and if you have the idea and the will to try it, yes, it can go wrong. Yes, it can die. Yes, you can run out of money. But if you don't try, what are you even doing? And that's not only with crypto or with developing, it's with any sort of business. There is already bakeries. Why do someone open a new bakery, right? So you guys think about that. Because our ecosystem is already established, because there is Uniswap, doesn't mean that we don't need any other DEX on Ethereum chain, right? There is something for everyone that is using for every platform. It's all about how do you get them. It's all about if you can position yourself on the top, if you can provide a better use case. That, as mentioned before, it's always going to go back that to, if you try me one time, do you want to go back to me? Let's call it the first experience, right? There's going to have to be a really good one for them to go back, and that's going to be what it's going to set us apart, But it's not that simple as there is a DEX and we cannot do. There is already yield farming we cannot do. There is a launchpad. What do you need a launchpad? It's not like that. Yeah.
Exactly, and I couldn't agree more, to be honest with you. Just because there's other competitors out there, just because there's
yeah.
things,
Absolutely.
like bakeries, doesn't mean you can't start your own. Doesn't mean that you can't penetrate that market and compete with even market leaders. Really, really good answer there.
Especially if your bread is the best on the block, right? So
exactly.
if your bread has that secret recipe, and the word starts to get around town in this analogy here, it doesn't matter what the bakery down the street has. People want to go to you because they really like your formula, right? So that formula in this case is lower gas fees, more accessibility, all in one ecosystem. It really does have a place, and the fact that it's going to be targeting also not just mainstays, but even some of the exotic blockchains to be that first mover, one of the first movers, is quite different in that sense.
Yeah, and I gotta add one more thing before we go on with that. If people think about Uniswap, it doesn't mean that Uniswap has $1 billion volume every single day, but it doesn't mean that volume was trading on their platform, guys. That's something that most of the users, they don't know, because they don't have technical, and they don't understand how things work. They only see the interface. But Uniswap think about Uniswap as the largest liquidity concentration, the concentration of liquidity on Uniswap or on Ethereum chain, for example, apart from, of course, from Avea, all the sort of stuff from all those staking protocols. But when it comes to DEXs and liquidity that is available for the users, Uniswap is the place where you're going to be finding that liquidity. But there is so many DEXs, there is so many aggregators, there is so many other protocols that are getting a lot of volume, that are getting the most amount of users, because people actually not scared of aggregators anymore. Look at 1inch, look at Matcha, look at DeFi AMA, having hundreds of millions of dollars of volume every single day. But the thing is that a lot of that volume is still actually being routed through Uniswap, so their volume is still counting. But when you see Uniswap and PacketSwap having this massive volume every single day, does not mean that they use actually buying on their own platform. It means that that's the volume that is being routed throughout the old DEXs or the rate of let's put in these exchanges that are actually using their liquidity, their pools. Just gotta realize that once you understand that, it's actually more diversified than you think, because Kyber is getting $100 million of volume. Matcha is getting volume. All the DEXs are getting volume. So everyone is actually getting their own users. Everyone is growing their users base. Everyone is improving. But most of the liquidity is going to be coming from those AMMs, or automated market makers, because they have the liquidity. And all these aggregators, the sort of stuff, pretty little of them have actually pools. So they only care about providing the best liquidity, they providing the best rate. So they aggregate them, but they don't have pools. That's why you see that we, as an aggregator, we still need Uniswap. We are not competing. We need them. We need Uniswap. We need PancakeSwap. We need all the market makers. We need all of them because they are the pools owners. They are the one that have the concentrated liquidity, and we need that. So once you understand that, you understand that it doesn't mean that Uniswap have a million like traders every single day in their platform. It means that a lot of the liquidity that is happening, a lot of the volume is coming from their pools, and that's going to change your perspective of how users actually distributed across the ecosystem. And I hope that it does after I explained you this. Yeah.
Yeah, definitely agreed.
Yeah.
DeFi Well asks a good question. We're going to take two more questions here, I think, from the community, and then we'll move on to the trivia. Are there any plans to introduce an algorithm that tracks and learns trading behaviors from top-performing traders using their platform, and sort of selling this as a copy trading service? Good additional revenue for both the trader and the project. Interesting.
Yeah, absolutely. We have thought about that a lot. Even actually, this is one of the most interesting questions that I have had today, because that's actually on the DeFi side, and we are building this one place for DeFi protocols. I already had a meeting with my team exactly like 3 weeks ago about are we gonna be going into that, because it could be a really high source of revenue, and actually users like it. But for that, we will have to be integrating a little bit of centralization into the ecosystem, because for tracking and for auto trading and a bunch of stuff, you cannot do all decentralized. I was talking with my CTO, which is the one that handles the whole development, and he takes care of the whole team. I don't have to be picking one by one. And there is a lot of things that we got to consider, but just realize that building something like that's going to be bringing a lot of centralization to the ecosystem. So we got to think if it's something that we want to deal with or not, because even we don't want to deal with TVL. Right now at TGE, there's not going to be TVL in the ecosystem. TVL is sort of value lock. It's actually money being locked in your treasury, which we are going to have for the SOS pools, but they are locked on a not the third-party platform anyway, so there is no risk. But anything that is centralized is something that we always gotta think, because it goes against our own mentality. And both auto trading, all that bunch of stuff is actually quite high revenue, and one of the best on the space is the best bots you can find and the best copy trading you can find. Actually, you can do it on OKX as well. But maybe I'm not gonna be answering that like a yes or no. I'm just gonna say we already thought about it, and maybe, but we're already busy with a lot of development, so maybe 1 or 2 years later, honestly. Yeah.
Amazing. Yeah, I was going to say you guys already have a lot on your plate, and just adding
Yeah.
more onto it is going to be difficult. But I think we'll take one more question here from Nicholas Thompson. As you are having your own swap, I want to know, do you guys have an option of limit orders, stop loss, and live viewing of charts like we have in TradingView or Binance? And what will be the trading fees?
So our DEX doesn't have any fees right now, so you can go ahead and trade with no fees. As mentioned, our liquidity is still routed through Uniswap, PancakeSwap, and Kyber, so there's going to be the fee on their side. We cannot change that, and that's what happens with pretty much all the exchanges in the space, decentralized. I'm talking about decentralized spaces, exchanges. But for chatting and for limit orders and for perps and all that sort of stuff, it's going to be going to the DEX V2. So you got to wait for that. Once the DEX V2 launches, we actually implementing the T-Swap. We implementing the perps, which is perpetual trading. We implementing the smart stake. We a bunch of stuff that's going to be going into that, and actually a portfolio managing inside the deck, which is going to allow you to do a lot of automated stuff. We bring a little bit of AI into it. It's going to be quite interesting, but not right now. Right now, there is no limit order or anything like that. You got to wait for the next V2 if you actually want to do it. Yeah.
Got you. Perfect. Well, hopefully that's something that you guys include down the line, because that is something that I use quite a lot as well, especially on Solana. You know, with Jupiter, they have this DCA feature and they have limit orders. It's absolutely amazing, but they are only on Solana at the moment. So
now that you mentioned Jupiter, I'm sorry that I cut you off. It just came to my mind that we actually have 1 to 5% of the supply is gonna be airdrop. This is something that we have not announced publicly yet, but most of the users already know. Do you know the reason why Jupiter Exchange is actually doing so crazy? Because they have been doing this drop for the longest, and they have been getting this acquisition because they are waiting. We actually are launching our own ecosystem uses airdrop, which is going to be supported by a lot of protocols. That's going to be bringing our user base to a whole new level, because the more you trade, the more you swap, the more you hold, the more liquidity you add, the more you interact with the ecosystem, your points are going to be increasing. Blast, for example, they just launched their chain, and the ecosystem was like, everyone was crazy. Actually, everyone is still crazy about the airdrop, right? So this is gonna bring XOX Labs to a whole new level. I'm talking the airdrop can be worth millions of dollars depending on the value of the token at the time. It's not gonna happen in one time. It's gonna be a really strategic airdrop plan, so it's not gonna be affecting the price. But this is something that we have not announced, but is really gonna take the ecosystem side to a new level, because users are actually using Jupiter because they want a platform, because it's really interesting, it's really cool, right? It's a pretty easy interface to use, and as you mentioned, have all these features. But they actually is because they want to get the airdrop, right? The more they use the platform, the better the airdrop they're gonna be getting, and that's gonna be the same story with XOX Labs. So users are gonna actually be able to use the platform, and knowing that the more they do, they're going to be on top of the list, and then they're going to be earning the most amount of money. Airdrops are pretty hot right now, so that could be positive, you know? Just wanted to add that there, slide that there, yeah.
Amazing. Yeah, no, definitely. You know, Jupiter is going crazy at the moment, especially with their planned airdrop. They're actually planning to go live, I think, with their token sometime this month, mid-January, a couple of weeks away. So, yeah. We are very, very excited. Yeah, great timing. Honestly, the ETF, Jupiter airdrop, and then obviously what you guys are doing, I think this month and this year especially is going to be absolutely amazing for crypto. And I'm so excited.
What I'm so happy about, and I'm seeing this as well with a lot of teams I consult with, is I am so happy that they built in the bear, right? The common term is build in the bear, kind of launch or profit in the bull, right? I am just touching base with so many teams that I've worked with this past year and 2 years, and they are all just pumped, right? They have a smile on their face, just like Ninja has half this interview. So it's one of those things that, like, you know, the teams that have been doing real work and not just like, you know, kind of building these fluff projects that don't really do much, they're really going to be getting the biggest gain, and by proxy, their communities are also going to be benefiting majorly. So yeah, guys, don't sleep on airdrops, don't sleep on early projects, and use this time to just research. Like, what I would say is right now is the time to learn. You have another couple of months, right, before it's going to be too late in a sense, and FOMO is going to be hitting like crazy. So just make sure, take the time every day. I would say study 1-2 projects that have potential, and, you know, bookmark them and check back. And then make sure you're, you know, taking mind of timers so you don't miss airdrops, so you don't miss pre-sale ends or TGE launches or anything like that. Now's the time to definitely keep those on your radar.
Definitely. I highly, highly agree with you there. Building during the bear is the most important thing and most effective thing you can do, because obviously in the bear market, there's not so many rewards to reap. But once we're in the bull, hopefully, that sentiment is going to change a lot, and it's really going to pay off with what you end up building in the bear market. So fantastic from you guys. We're going to move on to Akahu. You guys are welcome to stay and join us. But if I understand, if you need to go, you're very busy people. So yeah.
No,
well,
I'm good. Yeah.
Yeah,
Adam, you can go ahead. You can go ahead, bro. Yeah.
I'm going to jump, but I just wanted to say, you know, in doing so many of these, like, I just wanted to say this was the best one that at least we've had so far. So thank you so much, CryptoFrogs community. If you want to take that little snippet and proliferate it, it's true. So here, you know, representing as well as I'm sure on behalf of XOX Labs, we really appreciate this in-depth dive. This was a great way to kind of conclude today when it comes to AMAs. But again, just before I leave, I wanted to give one final call to action. Guys, it costs nothing to go ahead and join the TG. Please take the time, if not to just know that you didn't pass it up when it was mentioned. Join the TG, check it out, check those pinned messages, and keep a bookmark on this one. It's trending number 4. It's been hot trending for pretty much the whole last 2 days, and it is going to be ending in a day and 16 hours. Let's just say 16 hours, a little bit more than that, but definitely keep this on your radar, and we hope to see you in chat. So thank you again, and great job, Alan, hosting. You did fantastic.
Amazing. Yeah, I'm really, really glad.
Bro, yeah.
Very happy for you guys to come on here, and very appreciative that you guys take the time out of your day as well to come over and tell us all about fantastic things that XOX Labs are doing. We do appreciate it, and we're happy to have you guys on, of course. Very excited to probably pop back in a couple months and maybe talk about what you guys have done since this AMA and stuff like that. It'd be amazing.
Yeah, hope we have good news by then.
I really hope so.
Yeah.
Anyway, trivia.
I do have a little bit more time. If there is any community questions, something like this, I'm quite good answering that. If not, yes, you can choose Ellen. So I'm gonna leave it to you. Yeah, let's take a little bit.
Yeah, I think we'll move on to the community Kahoot trivia. We've got some, I think, 8 or 10 questions that Mike has prepared for us today, all about XOX Labs. So we'll leave the community questions for the Telegram. So if you guys want to jump over that Telegram, if you have any other questions, make sure you join the XOX Labs TG and ask away there. I'm sure the team will be more than happy to answer.
Absolutely.
I'm going to put the Kahoot up here in a second. Okay, you guys can see this. Can you guys see it?
Yeah.
Right. Cool. Well, if you guys have played this before, you guys know the drill. Head over to www.kahoot.it and type in this game pin, or scan this QR code on your phone, or even if you're even more lazy, I will drop it in the comment section of the latest post. Sorry about the keyboard noises, but here's the join link.
Yeah.
Just make sure you click it. Make sure you join with the Telegram username, so that we can give you your prizes if you win. And we'll give people just a couple moments to join up here. And while we discuss the current market, wow, I think a lot of people are thinking that the ETF announcement is going to be put out after trading closes in the United States in about 18 minutes, actually. So anytime tonight after 18 minutes from now, we're expecting that ETF. So what do you guys think the market is going to do? Personally, I think the market is obviously going to pump if it is announced and it is confirmed. But I think a lot of people are going to sell the news as well. So we might see a pump and a slight dump, but overall, it's going to be pretty good for the longevity of crypto. It's one of those things. It's like when a coin gets listed on a big exchange, you get a pump and then people sell the news. But in the long term, it benefits a lot. So maybe we'll see 48, maybe 50K Bitcoin today. That would be really nice. But I think the long-term effect of it is going to be a lot better than the short-term effect. Hopefully we'll see Bitcoin close above 100K this year. Would be absolutely amazing. I don't think that's too hard to do, to be honest. But of course, hopefully we see XOX Labs growing and adapting and building as they are doing.
Yeah, man. Excited, man. This game, just gonna ask you, do you need me here to answer questions, something like this? If not, I'm just gonna be ready for the next AMA, or do you gonna be answering the questions and they have to play?
You're welcome to stay and see how we do things. As from you, we don't really need anything. There's no questions to answer.
Cool.
So you're free to go.
It's like 3 a.m. So I'm gonna be getting to sleep. If it's a Q&A or something, ready to answer. But yeah, bro, I'm gonna get some rest. Tomorrow is gonna be a wild day. I really love the AMA with you guys today. Thank you for having me in here. And if you need anything else, any other questions, just drop in on the group. And as mentioned, was a lovely meeting. Yeah, thank you.
Fantastic. Appreciate it, man. Thank you, Ninja. Appreciate the the love and yeah, take care and get some sleep, man.
Bye everyone. Have a good one, yeah, and good luck with the trivia.
Yeah. Thank you.
Bye.
See you. Bye. What a guy. Seems like a pretty genuine dev to me, to be honest. Most of the time, I invest more in people than the actual projects that they build, and I think this guy is one of them. Wow, Metis at $91. Pumping again. All right, guys, I'm going to give you about 30 seconds more to join. This has been a pretty long AMA, so let's wrap this up with a nice trivia. Let's get at least 20 people in here, guys. Come on, head to the comment section link. Go to Kahoot.it. All right, I'm gonna give you guys 10 seconds to join. All right, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. All right, looks like a smaller Kahoot today, only 9 people, but at least the chances to win are bigger. So let's see what's going on here. Question 1. 1 out of 10. Which of the following statements best describes XOX Labs? Quick fire round. Which one? Yeah, the next generation multi-chain Web3 solutions provider, all in one provider. Question 2, true or false, the XOX ecosystem has been in development for around 2 years now. I think we know the answer to this question very clearly. And yeah, it is true. These guys have been working on it for almost 2 years now. Crazy stuff. XOX has dApp allows users to swap, stake, score. Wow, swap, stake, store, bridge, play, refer, invest, and earn. Wow, that is a huge mouthful to say. Jesus Christ. With ease across how many blockchains? Jesus. What was that? 60 plus. Wow. 2, 2, 2, and 2. Well, congratulations to the 2 of you that got that right. Let's see, L'Oreal taking the scoreboard here. XOX Labs will have an integration across 150 DEXs and 30 DEX aggregators. True or false? Is it true or is it false? And it's true. Question 5. What other utilities does XOX also plan to release? I think we talked about this topic very much specifically. Let's see who was listening. Asset portfolio tracker, DeFi mobile wallet, lottery game, and yeah, literally everything. These guys are developing a one-stop shop. Question 6. According to their website, what percentage of XOX's total token supply has been allocated for the pre-sale? Something we didn't really talk about much. Curious to see who's going to get it right. And I believe the answer to this is 7%. Wow, nobody got this right. You guys got to touch up on your Supply knowledge. All right, question 7. Following up on the previous question, how much ETH, I did say this, how much ETH is XOX hoping to raise hard cap? And when does their pre-sale end? I did touch on this, so you should know the answer to this question. Very briefly touched on this. These guys are raising 350 ETH, and their pre-sale ends on the 12th of January. Only 1 day and like a day and a half left, I reckon. I think, yeah, day and a half left on their pre-sale, guys. You ain't got much time. Question 8. XOX Labs plans to create, release a stablecoin, but what will its purpose be? We very specifically mentioned this, so I should know the answer to this question. And both of the above. All right, leaderboard looking pretty strong here. L'Oreal, Banchad, and bullish run in first, second, and third. Let's see the second to last question. XOX Labs has audit KYC docs and SafeU badges on their pink sale listing. True or false? True or false? And it's false. These guys are, I don't know what they are missing, but
they're missing the SafeU badge.
They're what missing? Sorry, what, Mike?
SafeU badge.
Missing the SafeU badge. Well, just because they don't have a SafeU badge does not mean they're not. Well, they are missing that one badge.
I have to include the trick question, though. You know that.
You do. Mike's always got the trick questions up his sleeve. Let's have a look at the last question here. The deciding for first place. Who represented XOX Labs in today's AMA? Who represented him? Ninja, Adam, MC Crypto Deck, or Jack the Creator? Surely everyone's got to get this right. Surely. I really pray. Yes, Adam and Ninja. Good to see both people got both of these right. Let's have a look at the podium here. I think we have a clear first place. Actually, no, we have clear third place. Who's going to be first? We got second place is Bam Chad, which means in first place we have L'Oreal. Wow, only 91 points between first and second. That is literally down to seconds. Remember, the faster you answer these questions, the more points you get. So for next time, guys, keep that in mind. But a very big congratulations to L'Oreal, Bamchad, and Bullish Run for winning our Kahoot today. Our best question will be dropped later on in the announcement, in the after AMA announcement. But thank you guys all for coming. Thank you guys all for listening, and thank you for joining us today on our AMA with XOX Labs. I'm very excited to see how these guys do in the near future. And yeah, enjoy the rest of your evening, guys. Potentially 7 minutes until the Bitcoin ETF is announced. So I'm going to be waiting very patiently on the SEC's tweet. But yeah, thank you guys all for coming. And yeah, hopefully we are entering a bull market. Enjoy the rest of the evening, day, morning, whatever time it may be for you. And take care. See ya.